And a fine good evening, everyone. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. I'm in Burlington, Vermont today at Lakeview Cemetery. You see, I'm definitely in the cemetery. I've been here quite a bit recently. Really happy that if you watch today's video would be dated March 18, 2022, then you saw that I found a governor. And indeed, I found a governor. The person buried in the left side of this crypt had been the governor. And he's the person I'm going to talk about in this video. Understand that his wife, buried next to him, was also an accomplished person in her own right. And I'll have another video about her, because who doesn't like to talk about accomplished women? Anyway, but in this video, it's all about Harold John Arthur. I have a couple of sources I'm going to be using, and just so you know, and I researched and I found 3 or 4 sources I had liked, and on my website, travelingforhistory.com or .org, either one will get you there. I'll have all of those sources so you can read all of them and reference them for yourselves. In the meantime, though, let me pull up one. Pull up indeed. Let me turn to one. Now, this source is the National Governors Association.org, and sometimes the articles are really well written and easy to digest, and sometimes it's like, wow, who wrote this? I hate to say drivel, but almost. Ew. That's kind of, I suppose, unfortunate, but you know, if I'm being honest, I'm being honest, but this I had liked, and I think you will too. Alrighty, so I'm talking about Harold John Arthur, and I'll go ahead and zoom in on that side of the crypt so there's no confusion. Born in Whitehall, New York, Harold John Arthur graduated from Albany Business College and went on to receive a law degree from LaSalle Extension University. While studying for his law degree, he worked for the Brandon National Bank in Brandon, Vermont, and managed a mercantile business. He was also Secretary-Treasurer of the Brandon Chamber of Commerce. From 1928 until 1934, he was Superintendent of the UA Employment Service. He also worked for the Vermont State Legislature for more than 20 years, rising to the position of Chief Clerk and Parliamentarian of the House of Representatives from 1939 to 1949. As a result of his experience, he published a book titled House Precedents to serve as a parliamentary guide for legislators and state officials. A member of the Vermont National Guard in the 1920s, he was inducted into the Army in 1941, serving until World War II ended. He was Assistant Judge Advocate General of the Army Air Force with the rank of Major. In 1948, he was elected Lieutenant Governor, and in that capacity completed the term of office of Governor Ernest Gibson, who had accepted an appointment as a U.S. District Court Judge. Arthur did not seek the governorship himself, and went on to make an unsuccessful bid for a seat in Congress in 1958. He served on various boards and in conferences at the local, state, and national levels, with positions including President of the Vermont Association for the Blind, Chairman of the Vermont Highway Users Conference, and Director of the Future Farmers of America Association. He died at Plattsburgh Air Force Base in Plattsburgh, New York, and was buried in Burlington, Vermont. Interesting, it just mentions his bid for Congress in 1958. He actually ran twice for Congress. And let me share with you the other source. I do love a well-annotated Wikipedia article. As you may have known, guessed, or as you may know, since I do use this source quite often. By the way, if you're wondering what the man looked like, here is his photograph. Harold John Arthur, February 9, 1904 to July 19, 1971, was the 68th governor of Vermont from 1950 to 1951. He also served as the 64th lieutenant governor of Vermont from 1949 to 1950. He was born in Whitehall, New York on February 9, 1904, and raised in Addison County and Rutland County, Vermont. He graduated from Albany Business College and worked for the Brandon National Bank and in other businesses before settling in Burlington. He was married to Mary C. Aliphat Arthur, who lived 1904-2004, with whom he practiced law. They were the parents of a daughter named Portia. From 1927 to 1929, Arthur worked as an assistant to Governor John E. Weeks. From 1928 to 1940, he was associated with Warren R. Austin, working as a clerk and stenographer, and then studying law in Austin's office. He obtained a law degree from LaSalle Extension University, and then became an attorney in Burlington. Arthur also worked for the Vermont House of Representatives for more than 20 years, rising to the position of chief clerk and parliamentarian, where he served from 1939 to 1949. He was clerk of the House from 1939 to 1943, and again from 1947 to 1949. During his World War II military service, the position was held by Clifton G. Parker. A member of the Vermont National Guard beginning in 1928, Arthur served in World War II and attained the rank of Lieutenant Colonel as a Judge Advocate General before retiring in 1959. Arthur was the successful Republican candidate for lieutenant governor in 1948 and served from 1949 to 1950. Arthur became governor when Ernest W. Gibson Jr. resigned to become a federal judge. He did not seek re-election to a full term in 1950, running unsuccessfully for the United States House of Representatives and losing the Republican primary to Winston L. Prouty, whom Arthur had defeated for the lieutenant governor nomination in 1948. In 1954, Arthur ran unsuccessfully to be the Republican candidate for lieutenant governor, losing the primary to Consuelo N. Bailey. Governor Arthur ran again for Congress in 1958, winning the Republican nomination and losing the general election to William H. Meyer, that's capital M-E-Y-E-R, who became the first Democratic candidate to win a statewide or national office in Vermont since the founding of the Republican Party in the 1850s. On a side note, I do wonder how he felt about that. Arthur died of cancer at Plattsburgh Air Force Base Hospital on July 19, 1971. He was a Unitarian and is interred here at Lakeview Cemetery. Interesting information about Governor Arthur, and a man who did so much. So that's all I have on him. The New York Times article was, it felt a little caustic at times, but you can read about that when I post this video, probably tomorrow on March 19, 2022. Be nice to have a person in between the 3 cemetery videos I've had of late. Alrighty, well, if you like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I still upload every day of the week because I can, and I want to. I may be a glutton for punishment, too. Once you subscribe, click on the notifications bell, and you'll be notified each and every time I upload a brand spanking shiny new video just for you. Well, this is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. Until I see you tomorrow, you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.